My young brothers and sisters, in today's world, we are not true to our teachings if we are merely pro-choice. We must stand up for the right choice. Those who persist in refusing to think beyond slogans and sound bites like pro-choice wander from the goals they pretend to espouse and wind up giving their support to results they might not support if those results were presented without disguise. The slogan or sound bite, pro-choice, has had an almost magical effect in justifying abortion and in neutralizing opposition to it. Pro-choice slogans have been particularly seductive to Latter-day Saints because we know that moral agency, which can be described as the power of choice, is a fundamental necessity in the gospel plan. But being pro-choice on the need for moral agency does not end the matter for us. Choice is a method, not the ultimate goal. We are accountable for our choices, and only righteous choices will move us toward our eternal goals. Some Latter-day Saints say they deplore abortion, but they give these exceptional circumstances as a basis for their pro-choice position, that the law should allow abortion on demand in all circumstances. Such persons should face the reality that the circumstances described in these three exceptions are extremely rare. For example, conception by incest or rape, the circumstance most commonly cited by those who use exceptions to argue for abortion on demand, are involved in only a tiny minority of abortions. Over 95% of the millions of abortions performed each year extinguish the life of a fetus conceived by consensual relations. If we say we are anti-abortion in our personal life but pro-choice in public policy, we are saying that we will not use our influence to establish public policies that encourage righteous choices on matters God's servants have defined as serious sins. I urge Latter-day Saints who have taken that position to ask themselves which other grievous sins should be decriminalized or smiled on by the law on this theory that persons should not be hampered in their choices. Should we criminalize or lighten the legal consequences of child abuse, of cruelty to animals, of pollution, of fraud, of fathers who choose to abandon their families for greater freedom or convenience? Over 30 years ago, as a young law professor, I published one of the earliest articles on the legal consequences of abortion. Since that time, I have been a knowledgeable observer of the national debate and the unfortunate Supreme Court decisions on the so-called right to abortion. I've been fascinated with how cleverly those who sought and now defend legalized abortion on demand have moved the issue away from a debate on the moral, ethical, and medical pros and cons of legal restrictions on abortion, and have focused the debate on the slogan or issue of choice. My young brothers and sisters, in today's world, we are not true to our teachings if we are merely pro-choice. We must stand up for the right choice. Those who persist in refusing to think beyond slogans and sound bites like pro-choice wander from the goals they pretend to espouse and wind up giving their support to results they might not support if those results were presented without disguise. For example, consider the uses some have made of the possible exceptions to our firm teachings against abortion. Our leaders have taught that the only possible exceptions are when the pregnancy resulted from rape or incest, or a competent physician has determined that the life or health of the mother is in serious jeopardy, or the fetus has severe defects that will not allow the baby to survive beyond birth. But even these exceptions do not justify abortion automatically, Because abortion is a most serious matter, we are counseled that it should be considered only after the persons responsible have consulted with their bishops and received divine confirmation through prayer.